Welcome everyone back to the European Journeyman save. In today's episode, we have two games in the Superliga, in the Danish Superliga. We are away to Randers and at home to Brøndby. Since you last left us, we had the opening day defeat to Midtjylland. We then beat Fredericia 3-0. As you can see from then, it's actually been going quite well. We haven't had the best run in Europe. We didn't qualify past the third qualifying round of the Champions League. We lost to Besiktas. But weirdly enough, I thought we would go into some sort of playoff game, but we didn't. We actually went straight into the Europa League phase, which isn't how I thought it worked, but makes sense because it just says loser qualifies for the Europa League. So I didn't know that's how it worked, but at least if you get second in this league, you're guaranteed to get Europa League, which is pretty good. Europa League-wise, we did lose to Boavista, but there we actually had a bit of a shock victory. 5-2 away win to Marseille was quite good. As you can see in the league, things are going quite well since that opening day defeat. We've then won every game on the bounce except the most recent league game, which was OB, a 0-0 draw. So as you can see, doing well. 9 games in, 7 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. As you can hear, got a little bit of a cold. Don't feel the best today, but I'm trying to do the episodes anyway because that's just how much I care about getting these episodes out. As you can see, Copenhagen are third. They've drawn quite a lot of games. Weirdly, Brøndby of the team that have been the most competitive. They have drawn an extra game than us. So if we win this game in hand, we will be top of the league. As you can see, we've been top of the league for quite a while. So we're definitely in a title race. In terms of how the squad's doing, it's going quite well. Luke Gillum has announced himself, I guess, as the main scorer, really. He's got 3 goals, as the best attacker. He's got 3 goals in 3 assists. Since he last left us, we have done some more transfers, so we'll take a look at that. So end of July was the end. So we have a couple of players who've left. So David Atorby's transfer to Shanghai Port went through. You already knew about that. Benny McKendy, we brought in some of the players, so he wasn't needed. So he's went on a season-long loan in Serie A, where he's actually doing okay. Christian Poulsen is another one. He just isn't going to get any game time. Too many players in, so he's went out on loan to Norway. Not scored yet, but he's only played 2 games. And then we did sell Noah Larson. We brought him in on a free in the summer. Or in the winter, should I say, and then we didn't really play him, but we sold him for a profit, so we've done well to make money on a player that we barely played. As you can see, we've brought in some proper players. So the first one that I think you may or may not have met is Imanol Ekchabe. I think we'd mentioned a couple of these we were in for. We paid £11 million for this guy, but he's been very, very good. 1 goal, 3 assists in the league. He is a 20-year-old Spanish, but I'm playing him as a ball-winning midfielder because he's so quick. He could also play centre-back as well in a pinch, but I like him as a ball-winning midfielder. He's terrific. He is what I think is a star player. He looks very, very good already. He's only 20, and he's only going to get better, so I like the look of him. Next up, a big signing. Cameron Archer joins us on a whopping £69,000 a week deal till 2032. He would have been let go by Southampton in the summer for whatever reason, because he'd scored 21 goals in the Championship, 11 in the Premier League the season before. So he'd had 2 relegations, but 2 promotions back to back, and he'd been scoring plenty in all of them. He's been scoring plenty in the Premier League since the save started. So a regular goal scorer, still only 28. He's very quick, good mental. He's just very good. Like, everything about him is just very good. He hasn't hit the ground running yet, but he's just getting his fitness up. Just the 1 assist in 3 games in the league. Nothing in Europe yet either, but I have faith for him. He's going to get better. He's ideally the advanced forward, but Luke Gillum's been the best player, and he deserves to keep his spot as advanced forward. So he's playing as a pressing forward at the minute, so we'll see how that works. Drew Warburton is someone who's came in on loan. He's a young left-back from Tottenham. We just needed some cover there. We didn't have anyone. Girlstoff kicked off that there wasn't enough left-backs, so we brought one in, but he wasn't happy that we brought in someone who's just as good as him. So not really sure why he's unhappy, but there you go. He's still unhappy even though we've brought him in. And then the last one we spent a lot of money on, £27.5 million. That Atorby money has gone quite quickly, I will tell you that. But look at his valuation. He's worth every penny. He's a genuine wonder kid. Dutch 20-year-old right back. He's been straight in the team. Another big contract, 66 grand a week till 2033. 27.5 million from Waalwijk or Waalwijk. He has not been amazing in the Eredivisie, but he's had a decent start to life here. 6.75 average rating, obviously still learning it. But he's a star player. He's a wonder kid. He can improve a lot. He's already very, very quick. Decent mentals, decent technicals. He looks amazing. So he's come straight in. And this is very much the team that we're playing. At the minute, he's not on the side. He's not playing today just because he's a bit tired. But he's very, very good. We are also looking at bringing in Anatoly Trubin, the goalkeeper. He's just world class. So if you can bring him in, why wouldn't you? We've still got quite a bit of money left. So even with the transfers, our balance is 35 million. We've got about 17 million to spend in transfer budget and about $6,000 in wage. And Trubin only wants 20k. So that would help sort this issue. The problem is registration. If we do bring Trubin in, someone would have to be unregistered, and we couldn't do that until January. So there's a chance we probably just delay this one and come back to it in January because we can't fit him in till then, and we can't fit in another non-homegrown player. So unless Trubin's got some secret Danish homegrown stuff, which he doesn't, then I'm thinking about it now with clear head. We probably can't actually bring him in because we don't have the space. We need we need 4 players trained in Denmark. We've got 4. We need 8. We've got 4, and we've only got 4 spaces left in the squad. So we can't technically register him, and we'd have to get rid of someone, and we don't really want to get rid of anyone. So it's a bit of a difficult one. We probably can't unregister a player like that. Yeah, we can't unregister because we're outside the window. So, yeah, we'll probably have to leave it. So we'll see what happens with Trubin. We might just delay it and see what happens. But we are very much full up. So the first game of the episode, I've yapped for a while there, but there was a bit to catch up on. So the first game of the episode, we are away to Randers. We should be winning this. This is the team we're going with. We've got Gulstorff in goal, back 4 of Haruna, Matsima, Fischer, and Karl. Ekkabe and Kano Dyer, who's replaced Nyheim as our go-to midfielder. Dyer's been very good. He's looking very good in this deep line playmaker role. Biancheri on the right, who's been very good so far. 3 goals, 1 assist in the league. Heskey on the left, who had a little bit of an injury, but when he has played, he's been good. 2 goals, 1 assist in 5 games. Partner in Archer and Gillum up top. The other strikers have not done so much. McNeely's not really been performing. Just the 1 goal and 1 assist in 8 games for him. Hassan, not as great as well. Actually, Hassan's been okay. 2 goals, 3 assists in 7. So he's probably a little bit unfortunate to be the player that misses out, but just compared to everyone else, he's just not as good. So that's what we're playing with. Groot Farm on the bench, as well as all the other players. Griffiths is one that probably will try to move on in the winter. He's not really been great, and he's probably not up to the rest of the standard of the team. Or we might just try and loan him out. Shea Lacey's been okay. 2 goals in 9, but again, nothing outstanding. So we might look to move one of them on. And the unfortunate thing is both our goalkeepers are Danish, so we can't really move a goalkeeper on to bring in Trubin. So if we did get rid of a player, we'd be a bit, it wouldn't really help us. So we might just get rid of one of the wingers and then bring back one of the wingers we loaned out. And that would be like another Danish player, I guess. But then they'll be under 19, so we wouldn't even have to register them. So I guess we'd have a free spot that way. We'll figure it out. Anyway, Dyer tries to play to Heskey, but doesn't get there. But it does fall to Eric Karl. This, like I say, today a win puts us back up top. And I think that's got to be the goal now. I wasn't sure of it in the summer, but after the big signings we've made, especially some of these big fees we've been playing, big wages, it definitely seems like we should be going for it now. I do think Copenhagen probably still have the best squad, but I think we are not so far away that we couldn't compete. And Biancheri does really well to take it down, and he extends his goal tally. Great ball from Heskey, sets up Biancheri, who smashes it past the goalkeeper. And we do make it 1-0, and we do go top of the league. I think a draw actually keeps us top of the league anyway, but winning it would be good. And we would expect to beat these. They are not having the best of starts to the season. Biancheri, once again, does really well. A bit of a poor save from the goalkeeper. A bit of a poor save from the goalkeeper, but he does make a save regardless. Gillum seems to be the set-piece regular. I don't know why. Don't know why he is, but he seems to be our regular set-piece taker. But like I say, Archer's not hit the ground running for someone who's as good as he is. But potentially that's because we are, using him more as a pressing forward. Maybe he'd be better as the. I mean, we have used him as the advanced forward as part of this run. The games he's played, he was just totally out of fitness though. So I notice it usually takes players about 5 games to kind of hit their best. Looks like Archie was actually the one brought down there. Referees blew for a penalty. He is checking VAR just to make sure that it is a penalty, and it is a penalty. It was a penalty. Archer was the one brought down. I assume it's him to take the penalty. It's not. It's Heskey taking the penalty, but he scored, and it doesn't matter who takes it as long as they score. Regan Heskey gets his 3rd of the season, 2-0 to us, and we are looking comfortable. Like I say, it's been very good. We've been very good. We only lost the one opening game day to Midtjylland, which, funny story, Midtjylland's manager left to go manage like Serbia or something. And the job was just open, and they actually just approached me for a job offer, which I did think about for like a minute, and then I looked and realized that they're actually lower than us on the season preview. We had that big sale going to China, so there was plenty of money, so we had more money, and there was a couple little bits that made them potentially better than us, as Luke Gillum gets his 5th of the season. There was a couple of bits like they had a bigger reputation, a little bit of a bigger stadium, but realistically, with the money and the fact that our squad's already better than theirs, it didn't seem like worth going for the interview. It didn't seem like a proper step up for us. As obviously we are a 3.5-star manager now, reputation wise. Weirdly enough, we were a 3.5-star manager at Tabor, and then once we moved to AGF, it actually went down, but it's gone back up to 3.5. So I'm not really sure what the deal is there. We are still studying for either the Continental A or Continental Pro. It's one of the last two. I can't remember. But these are the ones that take like a full season to come in. So we are very much getting to the end of the licenses. So reputation will only increase by, doing well, beating teams, playing games, basically winning trophies, that kind of thing. I'm not sure exactly what goes into how it works out, your reputation. Your licenses, what you own in terms of your coaching badges, definitely play a part in it, because whenever I get a coaching badge, it usually goes up about half a star. But yeah, not sure what else goes into it. I believe it's something to do with like just the more games you win, the more games you play. We will make a change. We'll bring Groot Farm on. He's not a left back. He is right-footed, but Carl is very tired. And we are winning 3-0, so we could probably bring on a couple of other players. We'll bring on Jack Fletcher. We don't really have an out-and-out ball-winning midfielder anymore. We'll bring Shea Lacey on. Should we bring Griffiths on as well? Might as well. We're 3-0 up. And we'll leave the last sub just in case there's an injury. 4 changes. Fletcher, Groot Farm, Griffiths, and Lacey all come on to the pitch. But yeah, like I was saying, I think it's just wins and trophies and stuff like that goes into reputation. I don't know how exactly it's calculated. That'll be deep into the game's code, I imagine. Oh, well, maybe not deep, but it'll be in there somewhere. But we don't need to worry about ourselves about it. What we do need to worry about is the fact that Randers have got themselves a goal. I felt like I could just feel it coming. It is 3-1. Perhaps we made too many changes at once. Perhaps that was not a great idea, but we've done it now, and the boys will have to try and see it out. But Shea Lacey stands over the corner. Fisher goes up for it, but nothing really comes of it. Still feel like we are probably 2 very good centre-backs away from having a very good 11. I think maybe potentially a really good left winger and a right winger. Cameron Archer gets his first goal for the club. He's off and running now. That's exactly what you want to see. Lovely stuff. Just gets on the end of it. Makes it 4-1. Nice to see Archer getting his first goal. But yeah, I think we are probably a world-class centre-back away from being a very, very good side. I think we're a good side now. I think we've got good attackers, good midfielders. Wingers are decent as well, Biancheri and Heskey. And I think the bench is very strong. So realistically, we are there. It's just, I think we'll bring Canigard on for the last 20. I think we are just probably a centre-back away. Or probably 2 centre-backs. My team has been okay. Fisher's been okay. Probably a left back and a centre back away from a very good side. Goalkeeper's been fine. I'm saying we're trying to bring in Trubin. That's just because he was available and he didn't want much money. If he'd wanted like 60k like all the other top stars do, I'd have probably just said it doesn't matter because we already have a decent goalkeeper. But he only wanted 20k, which for a 29-year-old world-class goalkeeper described by the coach as world-class seems absolutely ridiculous. But But there you go. Weirdly enough, Gulstorff actually has better one-on-ones. He's one higher in that attribute. He's 16 versus Trubin's 15, but Trubin just trounces him in every other stat. So it is definitely Trubin the better goalkeeper. But like I say, we can't fit him in, so I'm not really sure what to do. I guess we'll kind of just, well, Gulstorff hasn't really held himself in much glory there. That was poor. He kind of palmed it into his own net. It looked like it was going over until he touched it. That's poor. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's okay though. But oh my god, I thought they were going to make it 3. This is worrying. We were on top, and now all of a sudden, Kanagaard's awful. By the way, every time I bring him on, we always seem to concede with him on the pitch. He's really not a centre back. If he wasn't Danish, he'd have been gone by now. But we just don't. I'm struggling to fill the team with good Danish players, so we are having to leave spaces in the squad. And I think that's where we need to probably bring some of those young Danish attackers and wingers into the squad rather than the defenders, because I think we've got plenty of good first teamers. So the difference between a Glenn Rash and, a Griffiths, there's not much difference there. So we might as well use the Danish boys and take up a space or leave a space that way. But we do win 4-2. I think they got a player sent off right at the end, but it's irrelevant. We do win 4-2, and that is good because it does put us back up to the top of the league. One thing we are doing is scoring plenty of goals, which is really pleasing for me. Bit of an international break between these games, so I'll go and get through that off camera, let you know what happens with anything in between. But when we come back after the international break, we'll play Brøndby. So we are back for the second game of the episode. We're at home to Brøndby. Top of the table clash. Really important that we win this one. Since you last left us, not really much happened. The deal with excuse me. The deal with what's it called? Trubin. His work permit won't actually be accepted till the middle of October. So we've actually had about a month of just waiting on that. So drag out the delays for a few weeks. Hopefully you can try and get it to January. It's probably still a bit too early, so we might have to give up on it anyway. I haven't actually sorted the team out before I've started the episode. What am I doing? Started the game. Anyway, there was only the one change. So this is the team we're going for the Brøndby game. Gulstorff in goal, back four of Groot Farmer, Matt Seamer, Fisher and Carl. Carl is out of contract at the end of the year, so we will be looking for a new left back probably in the winter, but if we can get one next season, doesn't really matter. He's doing a decent job at left back for now, but I don't really want to offer him a new deal because he's only kind of all right. And I think we can probably do better. Extrabay and Keanu Dyer in midfield, Biancheri, Heskey on the wing, and then Archer and Gillum up top because they've all been very good. Lacey's injured, so he misses out. Warburton comes onto the bench. Don't expect to see Warburton too much. He's really just there as cover. He's just a just in case. 2.5 star for a loan. No obligation to buy, no option to buy, not paying anything, just his wages. So happy to just have him sit on the bench, really. He wasn't doing anything at Tottenham, so he's just sitting on our bench instead. He'll probably play the odd game, probably a bit of Europe maybe. But this is a massive game. Obviously, Copenhagen, you would still think are probably the bigger title rivals. But Brøndby have been doing very well, and they've obviously got some decent players in their midst because they're not doing bad at all. So a win here would really set us... I think it would put us 5 points clear of them. Now, obviously, very early days as Diego is very close to getting us that goal. But, yeah, it's very, very early days, but hopefully it could allow us to get into that. Potentially that area of we could do this. We can really challenge for it because we are challenging for it. Heskey, oh my God. What a goal that is from Heskey. I'm almost said Emil. Regan Heskey, which I'm not sure if it's his son or not. I assume it is. I'm pretty sure it is. And if it's not, I look like a fool. But how many Heskies are there? I don't know many Heskies. That does put us 5 points clear. 6 points clear of Copenhagen as well. So all their draws, oh my God, I thought he'd scored another absolute screamer. All their draws are really catching them up. Are really catching up to them because we are flying away with it. And that's all good with me. I did say I don't really want to leave in this season because this is the season I feel like we've actually got a chance of challenging for it. And we certainly are. We didn't have a good start on the opening day, but everything in between, it's all gelling now. All the new players have gelled, and obviously it's a better team than we had last year and the team we joined. So it feels like we're doing well. We are still subject to a goal conceded. Matt Seam has given away a penalty. We are still subject to a goal conceded, but we're scoring plenty, so it hasn't really mattered. I thought he might not have gave it, but he has. He was obviously went in too rough. I do think goalkeeper, left back, and a centre back are still our weakest areas. Wow, he's at the post. You don't see many posts hit on Football Manager penalties. You do see them saved now and then. You do see them go in most of the time, which is realistic to real penalties. You don't see too many hitting the post, which I guess makes sense because you don't see that many hit the post in real life, do you? It's usually in or saved. But we're not having the best of games. We are playing well. I think there's certain players doing well, but a couple of players maybe not living up to it as much. I've yet to be wowed by Group Farm, but it's still early days for the lad. He doesn't seem to offer much going forward, which I thought with his pace he would do. He's not the greatest crosser or dribbler though, so perhaps that's why he's not so good. But we will just look to make a change, and we'll probably make it up front. We'll bring Hassan on, who, like I say, he's been scoring plenty, but has just unfortunately been unfortunately part of a team that's brought in Cameron Archer, and Luke Gillum has all of a sudden just been banging them in. So there's really no room for him as a starter. He can't really play on the wing, and he's definitely better as an out-and-out striker, as Archer was extremely close to getting his second in 2 for the episode. And he does again go very close, but this time it does go over. I do think Cameron Archer is probably the best player at the club, so you probably have to start him. Excabe is probably the next one. Group Farm should be, but he doesn't seem to produce that in the match engine just as much. But we've got a very good squad now. I think the depth is there, and that's probably why we're doing so well in Europe. We've played 2 games and won 1, but it was a good win against a very, very decent side in Marseille. So I think we're there. I think we're there or thereabouts. I mean, like I say, there's a couple of positions I think we could improve on, but there's no problem areas. There's no honking goalkeepers. There's no really bad centre backs, anything like that. It's just the odd position. What was I going to change there? Don't know. But McNeely's going to come on. McNeely? Oh yeah, we haven't got Lacey, and Griffiths can't play on the right. That makes sense then. So McNeely can play on the wing. He's quick enough. He can play on the wing. Do we want to make any more changes? It's only 1-0. We'll leave as is. Everyone else seems to be doing well. Biancheri off. Donnell, McNeely in, who was the regular pressing forward, but wasn't really cutting it. It's just the 1 goal and about 8 appearances. Archer's already got that in about 3 or 4, so I think we know who the better player is. But speaking of that, 10 minutes to go, we'll make a couple final changes. Griffiths can come on for Heskey. Nyheim can come on for Dyer. And we'll leave the rest as is. No need to make too many defensive changes when we're hanging on to the 1-0 lead. It's been a good game. We've definitely been the better side. Probably not scored as many, but they have got Newbill in goal, who is a very decent goalkeeper, so he's probably saved quite a few of those on target, and he is by far and away their best player. Late highlights, you never like to see when you just win them 1-0. Couple of minutes left. Nyheim up to Griffith, plays in Hassan, who hasn't really done much since we've come off the bench, but he plays in Griffiths, who does well to keep it. Griffiths almost loses out, finds McNeely, and that looks like it should just be straight into that right-hand side, but he's put it the other side, and it's gone wide, and that's a little bit disappointing. Maybe not a winger, maybe he's not a winger, but really that was almost a striker's position anyway, so it didn't really matter. But he didn't do very well when he came off the bench, but it doesn't matter. We did win the game, and a rare clean sheet for us, because like I say, we have been conceding goals, but bit of a cagey affair with it being a top of the table clash, but we've came out on top, and that is all that you need. Apologies if this has been a more low-key episode, not getting as excited for things and that, but like I said, not feeling the best at the minute, but still wanted to get the episode and progress the save. Hopefully it's been okay. As you can see, we got a bit more money there. We're doing okay. Financially, worries are all gone. So I think we're going to play, like I say, quite a bit in between. What we're going to come back for is the Feyenoord and Young Boys games, the last games in the Europa League phase. So we'll play these preliminary games. We'll play the rest of these Europa League games, and then any cup games as well that come into it. When you come back, we should hopefully still be top of the league, and we should be knowing pretty much whereabouts we're going to be in this preliminary phase nonsense. We should be hopefully well into the top half. Board want us to finish top 2. I want to finish top. I want to win the league and probably move on next season. Contract-wise, we are out of contract at the end of the year, so it would be a perfect time for a club to come in for us. Obviously, our percentage will continue to decrease as we get closer to this contract expiry. I don't really see the point in getting a new contract. I think we're probably going to win the league this year. So as long as we do that, I'm happy to just let the contract run out and look for a new club. But obviously we can't force it. We got to wait for a club to come in for us. But with all of the nations in now, France, Germany, Holland still. France and Germany would be the main ones. In terms of who you'd want, I mean, I think Germany's very good for prize money. So realistically, if you get into any of these kind of top half, there's definitely money to be had. Hertha Berlin would be a good one. They always have a lot of money, and it's a lot available. Obviously, the big ones you'd want, but whether we could probably swing that, probably not. Could we swing a Hertha Berlin? Yeah, we probably could. We're 3.5 star. Bayer Leverkusen, potentially. Yeah, they're kind of very underperforming. So those are the levels of club I think we've got to aim for now. In terms of France, probably like a Monaco, maybe a Lille, something like that. They're not doing too well. I mean, look at that. Marseille are 4th, and we beat them with our team. Evan Ferguson's at PSG. Madness. Who's he wanted by? Al Shabab or something? No, Barcelona. Fair enough. Prove me wrong. 136 million. I mean, he's banging them in, to be fair. I imagine they just win the league every year, right? Yeah. Maybe not France. Maybe France would not be as fun. It would be good, though, to try and usurp them. I mean, Bayern win the league nearly every year, and so they've won the every year in the save anyway, haven't they? So anyway, we'll ignore all that. We are focused on what we're doing. So like I say, we'll come back for the last 2 games of the Europa League phase against Feyenoord. But Young Boys, we'll play everything in between, and we'll also have any January transfer business to wrap up as well. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the European Journeyman, and I'll see you all for more very soon.